Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
So, you've thought about selling to the world's biggest customer, the US government, but the whole process just seems impossible, right? Well, stick around. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a much smarter way to get your foot in the door, a way to bypass the bidding chaos.
First, let's just wrap our heads around a pretty wild number. Only 1/4%. That's it. Of all the small businesses in the entire country, only 0.25% actually sell to the federal government. That means for every 400 small businesses out there, only one is making it work. That's less of a high bar and more of a giant wall.
And look, if you've ever felt that way, you are absolutely not alone. This quote comes from someone who knows, a former government acquisitions officer. They said it flat out, selling to the government is hard. It's not you. The system itself is incredibly complex by design.
So let's dig in. What exactly makes up this massive hurdle? Why is it so tough to break through?
Well, for starters, there's the timeline. This is not a quick sale. The average journey just to win your first contract can take anywhere from 12 to 18 months. Think about that. That's a year, maybe a year and a half of grinding, researching, registering, bidding, all before you see a single dime. It's a true marathon. And this long, exhausting journey, that all takes place in what's known as the open market. It's the default path, the one most businesses try to follow, and honestly, it's where most get completely lost. The open market experience is basically one of constant, non-stop bidding. You're living on platforms like SAM.gov, hunting for opportunities, and just throwing your hat in the ring over and over and over again, competing against a massive crowd every single time.
And this is where the frustration really boils over. You're constantly forced to compete on lowest price technically acceptable, which is just a race to the bottom that absolutely crushes your profit margins. A lot of people fall for the middleman myth, thinking they can just resell stuff, which almost never works. In the end, it's just so easy to get completely lost in the noise.
I know, it sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? Which leads to the big question. If the front door is that crowded and that frustrating, is there a side door? Is there a way to bypass this maze?
And the answer is a big, resounding yes. There is another way. The key is something called a GWAC, which stands for a government-wide acquisition contract. This is the streamlined path we've been talking about.
So, what is a GWAC? The two most important words you need to know are pre-competed and multiple award. This means you go through the really tough competition just once to get approved. Then you become a go-to vendor for a whole bunch of different agencies. And the most famous example of a GWAC is the GSA Schedule.
Let me put it this way. Bidding on the open market is like being an actor who has to audition for a new part every single day. You're starting from scratch every time. But having a GSA schedule, that's like having a VIP pass to the studio. You're already pre-approved, so you get to walk right past that huge line at the door.
Okay, so you get this VIP pass. What's the real advantage? Well, this is where we start to solve all those frustrations we talked about with the open market.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This is a quote from an actual business owner, Peter Jorgensen. After getting his company on a GSA contract, he said it simply took the drudge out of working with the government. I mean, that word, drudge, that says it all, doesn't it?
So what do you really gain? Well, first, you eliminate that soul-crushing constant bidding. The whole process gets streamlined. Your company instantly gains credibility because you've already been vetted by the government. You have that official, pre-approved status. And get this, it often gives you access to state and local government buyers too.
All right, I'm sure you're thinking, this sounds amazing. How do I do it? Getting on the GSA schedule is definitely a process, but you've got a couple of clear options for how to approach it.
It really boils down to two paths. There's the do-it-yourself route, where you use guided programs to manage the whole thing yourself, which can save you money, or you can go with a done-for-you service, where experts handle all the complex paperwork and you just focus on running your business.
Now, before we finish up, we have to talk about a crucial reality check, because getting the contract, that's not the end of the journey. In a lot of ways, it's really just the beginning.
A GSA schedule is an unbelievably powerful tool. It opens doors that were sealed shut before, but what it is not is an easy button. It gets you into the room, but it doesn't automatically close the deal. You still have to bring the value.
Remember that acquisitions officer from the beginning? He put it perfectly. The real work starts when you go on contract. Getting the schedule proves you're capable. Now you have to actually deliver.
So, here's the new game plan. Step 1, you win the contract. You've got your VIP pass. Great. Step 2 is all about providing real value, delivering an amazing product or service. And that leads directly to Step 3, performance. You build a reputation for being excellent. And that's what turns one opportunity into a long-term pipeline of work.
So the final question really isn't about the process. It's about your performance. The GSA schedule can open that door and let you bypass all the frustration. But once you step inside, are you ready to deliver? That's the question that really matters.
A special thank you to MarketUS.com for furnishing us this information. You can reach them at MarketUS.com or call them at 954-636-3232. Before we go, this deep dive was created by the MarketUS.com team. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. It's right below the subscribe link.